Time to go inside out with our NBA insider, Ian Begley, who joins us from the Garden. Ian, not to throw shade at Ricky Rubio, but how does a guy who's averaged 11 points for his career break down the Knicks defense the way he did for a career-high 37 points and 10 assists?
It shouldn't have happened, Chris. I mean, Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Quentin Grimes, whoever the Knicks threw at Ricky Rubio, it didn't slow him down. He was red hot. And to me, it spoke to an issue that Julius Randle addressed after the game. He talked about the Knicks not having the proper edge on some nights leading into games, and that impacting them on the defensive end. And that's troubling for the Knicks because last year they were one of the top defensive teams in the NBA. They bring back most of last year's roster, but so far we haven't seen that same defensive identity, and we haven't seen that same energy night in and night out for this club.
And one of the things that, sticks out to me, one of the bigger problems is their inconsistent play, not really from game to game, but more so from quarter to quarter. So how does Stibbs rectify that type of issue?
Maybe he has to mess around with the rotations or the lineups. I mean, Obi Toppin has been bringing some energy off the bench for this club. He's been producing on offense. Defense, he makes his mistakes, but you wonder if maybe Tom Thibodeau goes with a little bit more Obi Toppin moving forward. But no matter what it is concerning that we're hearing after these losses that their team is not playing with the proper energy, proper spirit. They've lost 3 games in the Garden already to 3 teams that you would think on paper that they could beat.
And looking ahead, they have a game Monday against the Sixers, Ian, who have been on a 6-game winning streak since losing to New York. How do you see the Knicks coming out in that matchup?
Chris, the interesting thing is you referenced that game where the Knicks beat the Sixers here at the Garden. Well, the game before that, the Knicks were home and they lost to the Magic. It was an ugly game. There was a lot of talk about lack of energy, lack of effort, but the Knicks cleaned things up after that loss, came out and beat the Sixers. So I'm wondering if they can clean things up after this bad loss to Cleveland and do the same thing against the Sixers on Monday.
And quickly, what are you looking forward to see in the Stinner matchup, especially with the Knicks going up against Joel Embiid?
Really good test for the Knicks centers. You look at Mitchell Robinson, he's clearly still working his way back conditioning-wise from being off the previous 7 months. He put on strength, but you can see that his wind is not all the way there yet. Nerlens Noel also coming off an injury, just started playing after missing most of the regular season preseason. So neither of these guys are in the top shape, but it is a tough matchup and a good test for both of them when you're going up against one of the best centers in the NBA.
And it should be a very exciting game. Ian Begley, thanks so much for your time as always.